The recent High Court decision which the Minister referred to on the UPC case can only lead us to conclude one thing, that such legal protection does not exist, and it is very, very damaging for the international reputation of Ireland as a jurisdiction with appropriate legal protection for all kinds of intellectual property and copyright generally. In his judgment, Justice Peter Charlton did rule that Irish law doesn't require internet service providers to identify and disconnect illegal file shares, but he cautioned that the lack of such provisions in Irish law technically means that our country is not in compliance with European law, and that considering its place within the European Union, our government must therefore address this very issue. Judge Charlton also condemned illegal file sharing, his judgment reading that, and I quote, "It not only undermines business, but ruins the ability of a generation of creative people in Ireland and elsewhere to establish a viable living," and that, again and again I quote, "It is destructive of an important native industry." From the wording of Justice Charlton's judgment, it is obvious to us that he was most anxious to provide the kind of protection that our artists need, but that legally he had no basis for doing so. Our government must now act as a matter of urgency to do its job properly and implement the required EU legislation without further delay. Justice Charlton's judgment could not have been any clearer on where the responsibility lies. With ever-increasing broadband speeds, it will soon be possible to download a movie or a very complex computer game in a matter of seconds. Without the proper legislative protection in place, we will see Irish businesses in these sectors going to the wall. In fact, I believe that the recent demise of the Chartbusters video rental chain, with the loss of almost 90 jobs, can be partly attributed to illegal downloading of movies. Extravision, our other major video chain, which employs 1,600 people, must also be under threat from the same source. Ireland is rapidly becoming a leader in world computer gaming. The computer games industry, it's a very exciting field. It currently outsells the film industry worldwide, and recent research shows that computer gaming is rapidly broadening its demographic base. Industry statistics show that the average age of those who play video games is now not 14, it is in fact 34. And last year, a quarter of all those who played video games were over 50 years of age. The very same figures show that 2/3 of all households have a video game console or device, and half of all parents now play video games with their children at least once a week. And Ireland is becoming very, very quickly a world leader in computer gaming. We've created companies like Havoc, which had its genesis just yards from here in Trinity College, and which is now one such world leader in this field. Since 2007, Havoc-powered console and PC games generated combined sales revenue totaling over $4.2 billion in the US market alone. Computer game development is innovative and exciting from a technological and creative perspective, providing career opportunities for imaginative, logical and energetic people. But in order to nurture such development here in Ireland, we need strong legislation to protect the intellectual property rights of gaming developers and their businesses. This challenge, Lascahirlick, we face isn't about some nebulous, high-minded debate on the ethics or otherwise of illegal downloading. It is instead about protecting real Irish jobs and providing for the creation of many more thousands of Irish jobs. I'm informed that such protection doesn't require a whole new raft of legislation. A simple statutory instrument would suffice to give such protection. Let's have that protection, and let's have it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Cassidy.
Well, I want to welcome the Minister to the House, and it's a serious challenge that the industry finds itself in today. And most of what I was going to cover and say, Senator Canahan has very excellently covered here and outlined to the House the serious challenges that's facing the industry, the importance of the industry and the huge opportunities that this industry can play its part and its role in the recovery of the Irish economy. I know that there was a court ruling 3 weeks ago, and I know that the advice of the Attorney General has been sought, and 3 weeks is a long time, because when an industry's back is to the wall and when practically 60% plus of its turnover is done in the 4 to 5, 6 weeks before Christmas, this is a crucial time in the calendar year of the entire industry. This is an industry that has been a tremendous backbone to the Irish economy. It has been possibly the best ambassador worldwide that Ireland PLC has ever had, because what the industry has done worldwide, the success of our artists, the success of Riverdance, Lord of the Dance, U2, all of these, Enya, the success worldwide, we have punched way above our weight in relation to a population of 4.5 million people. And I want to emphasise here on the floor of the Upper House here today to Minister Conor Lenihan, whose attitude, I know, is very supportive to our industry, because he has a track record of coming from an industry not too unrelated to where the music industry is. And I have a vested interest in this, and I want to state it quite clearly here today, because I've grown up in this industry since 1963. It has been an incredible industry for anyone with talent, an innovator, a creator. You don't have to be a rich man's son or daughter to become a success in this industry. That's the beauty of it. The person with ability, the person with quality, the person that can create things, they are rewarded. And I'm talking about huge personal experience in this industry. But it baffles me, where an opinion can be sought from the Attorney General's office, that it takes 3 weeks to deliver it. It's unacceptable, it's unsustainable, and it's not going to be tolerated. And I'm going to propose that we adjourn this debate here today until the Attorney General's advice is received, and then we'll take it back to the floor of the House to continue the debate and allow the Minister, in fairness to the Minister and his department officials, an opportunity to deal with the serious crisis that this industry is facing. The innovator or the creator, the person who writes the song, the person who records, the artist that records the material, the publisher that invests heavily to get the record company to record the artist, to distribute it, to release it, to pay for the heavy charges that TV advertising and everything to do with the industry is taking place at the present time. And then to be told by the government that your downloads are not going to be recorded, are not going to be given anything for. This is the greatest insult that can be given to any innovator or creator, and Ireland is proud of her achievements to date. Every January since 1977, I have attended the World Music Publishers Conference in Cannes. On one occasion, we had an Irish minister attend that stand. But in fairness to Enterprise Ireland and to the agency before them, they always looked after us and gave us a stand where the world of entertainment and the world of music came together. And in 4 days, we planned out and we met everyone in every other country, particularly the English-speaking countries, the 8 English-speaking territories that we have in the world, and people who had small family budgets were able to conduct their business, and they were able to discuss their intellectual property rights and meet with the biggest people in the business, whether it was from Los Angeles, whether it was from Tokyo, or wherever it was from. Intellectual property and intellectual property rights are the whole future of our economy, along with the energy saving that I said in the order of business, and the opportunity and the potential that that has to make billions for us every year in our economy here in Ireland. Now, the industry comes to us today to ask us to assist them, who have been major contributors to our Irish economy for the last 50 years, incredible contributors in relation to what they have done in the world of film. The ambassadors that the film industry has been for our country has been absolutely mind-boggling. But to think that a film could be invested in Ireland and made in Ireland, and then no royalties absolutely whatsoever received, this is a disgrace. And this has to be viewed on by the department officials and by the minister and by the government as an extreme urgent case to be dealt with, and not something to be left for 3 weeks to get an opinion. Can I say, the judge highlighted the deficiencies, and Senator Cannon covered this as well. He said the deficiency in Irish law which resulted in Ireland's currently having no mechanism, Lasco here, look, to forcibly disconnect internet users who engage in illegal downloads, and commented that this results in Ireland breaching its obligations under European Union legislation. Now, we were always very proud of the massive contribution that those who are giving the assistance to our government, our ministers and ministers of state, our senior officials in the department, to give the minister the backup facility. The senior officials in this department have got to give our minister a backup facility and get this decision from the Attorney General's office down right away in the next 48 hours if possible. Because, as it says here, we're breaching our obligations under European Union legislation. And the future investment by the multinational companies who took this case to the High Court, they have got to be backed in total, because the difficulty for those Irish operating multinational companies is, at the end of the day, they have to justify the investment by those multinationals in being based in Ireland. And I'm making the case for them here today, unashamedly, on what they have achieved and what they have done down through the years for the industry in general and for Irish artists who are not being protected under any shape or form that has been said here. Now, the section of the Act, as has been pointed out to me here, is in relation to the two articles, Article 8.3 of the Copyright Directive and Article 12.3 of the E-Commerce Directive. Both articles provide that injunctions should be available against the ISP, forcing them to terminate illegality on their networks, whether or not they are responsible for it. I think those two suggestions certainly says it all as far as I am concerned. And I call on the Minister to make us compliant here in Ireland. We are a proud industry and a proud people and have a huge, huge success. And certainly the least we can do is to put the law in European context with our partners in the UK or the French or any of our other colleagues in Europe. There are very many issues that I could go on with here today and outline to the Minister and ask him for his assistance, because certainly he has shown by coming to the House here today in person that he certainly wants to help the industry, and I thank him for that. The solutions are available to the problem of internet copyright piracy. It's not surprising that the legislative response laid down in our country in the Copyright and Related Rights of 2000 at a time when the problem was not perceived to be threatening to the creativity and the retail economy as it has become in 2010. Because technology, colleagues, Laska here, because technology is changing so fast, it's mind-boggling. And what would be covered in law in the month of November quite possibly might not be covered in law in the month of December. This is a most challenging department for any official to have to preside and to have to work in and to keep in pace with the changes in technology. It's just a whole new challenge, but it's a whole new opportunity of revenue to come into the country where Irish people can pay their taxes and have money to pay. There is no point in we becoming the Wild West of Europe and not being protected, because we'll get no investment. No one will come here and spend their money. No multinational and no film company or anyone will come here. Now, I stand up here today to plead for an industry that wants the two simple amendments made, and hopefully the Attorney General's office will give the officials and give the Minister the support that this deserves. And I look forward to the Minister and the officials coming back to the House in the not too distant future where we can confirm that this will be the case.
Senator Cassidy, did you propose a change to the order of business there? You said you were going adjournment.
What I'm contemplating, because there's a serious amount of frustration has crept in. Senator Cannon has outlined, I have outlined, Senator Deary, who has a huge knowledge in the industry as well. I know Senator Norris is in the House today. We can review progress on the response of the Minister, or we can, if I'm at a crossroads really to see what the right thing is to do. There's never the wrong time to do the right thing. If the Minister is confident that he will have a response from the Attorney General's office within the next week or so, then we can conclude the debate here today. If he doesn't, then we will leave it and we will adjourn it and take it back for another day.